Hey folks, so I got thinking, as far as the monster tires go, you can see they're really thin, but they're wide. And the tubes, well, even if I get them from Heartway specifically for it, are more or less round, right? So they have a lot of space to fill. So they stretch out a lot, and I got thinking about that. I decided to look on Amazon to see if I could find wider tubes. They have to make wide tubes, right? So I got looking, and I started seeing tractor, like lawn tractor and golf cart, and I'm thinking, well, that would work. Because the lawn tractor tires, they're taller than the monster tires, but they're like wide, same thing. So I'm thinking, well, that would, and golf carts, maybe, they have wider tires. So I'm thinking, well, maybe that would work. So I kind of refined my search a little bit, and I found a whole bunch of things. So I found a tube. It is, yeah, name on it, Kenda. That's the brand name. I know that name. So I got this tube, and it is 15-inch tube. The back tires are 15-inch by 6. Now they're supposed to be for a 6-inch rim, so that is kind of, I don't think that's gonna work. Because I wasn't sure. The front maybe. I wasn't sure, what size I'm gonna need. I don't think it's gonna work. But it's got a 90-degree angle bell stem, which is what I like. Now, I can't find specifically for the monster tires because this size does not exist anywhere outside of Heartway. I've looked, and I've looked. So, I bought this anyway. It's the same price as the tubes I was getting. And I can take all the stupid little elastics off of this. Actually, I'm going to set the camera down. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got it all opened up, but it's still round. It's not oval shaped or anything. It's not going to fit. The hole in the center is just too small, but it's a lot wider. It's a larger circle. I guess essentially it won't stretch as much to fill this space, but this hole is definitely bigger than 6 inches. So I'm going to get the size off of this, and I'm going to try again. But the tubes that I get are for 8-inch rim. So they are 4.8 by 4, and it says for 8-inch rim. So, that's what I use on here. So 6 inches isn't going to work. I don't know if I can stretch this, and I might be able to stretch it enough to get it on there. If I can't, then I'll save this for front, because that'll fill that, no problem. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to see if I can find, because I know this was for 6-inch rim, I remember that, but I was ordering without looking to see what I got here. So I'm going to try again and see if I can get a bigger inner diameter. I'll have to get the size off of that and just kind of determine, I guess. Actually, grab my measuring tape here. Yeah, that's like 9 inches. So. Ow! I guess that's why 8-inch tubes work on it, because it's a 9-inch rim. So I doubt 6 inches is going to fit. I'm going to try. I'm going to change this tire right. Is this the one that's flat? No, it's the one on the other side that's flat. This one's low. Yeah, it's the one on the other side. But I'm going to change that today. I want to get the monster to the point where I can drive it if I need to, because fire department's been quiet again for a while. Excuse me. That kind of worries me because after they've been quiet for quite some time, they suddenly get a whole bunch of different calls, and I'd rather take this out than the other scooter if I'm going to get video. It's just, the lighting's better. I don't know. I just prefer to have this. So I want to get it drivable. Everything else has still got that flat tire on the front here. That's kind of nuts. I gotta change these again soon anyways, but it's something I can do while I'm still waiting for the parts. But I'm not gonna drive this with a back flat tire. It takes way too much power from the batteries and puts way too much stress on the motor. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to do that right now. So if this new tube doesn't fit, the reason I'm doing this, it's a thicker tube. It's bigger, it won't stretch as much, so I'm hoping that means I won't get as many flat tires. It won't be as susceptible to flats, because the tubes aren't stretched out quite as thin. So that's my hope, that's my thought. So I guess we'll see what I can do. So I gotta pull the monster forward here, and I did see at one point, I think when I first initially started looking, I saw, was it puncture resistant, I think it was called. And I think all that really entails is the actual tube itself. The material's thicker, it's a thicker rubber. So it takes, and that may just be because being thicker, it doesn't stretch as much, so it won't be as thin, I don't know. But I went looking in this size, and I never found it again. So, but I did see the same size tube that I bought here. I did see a 2-pack for the same price, $23, and they were the same except they had straight valve stems. They didn't have the 90 degree. And 90 degree is what this normally uses. It just makes it easier to put air in when the valve's pointing outwards rather than straight up, and the axle gets in the way trying to put the air pump nozzle thingy on it. So it's just better just to have the 90 degrees. So if I can find that, that's preferable. But I want a bigger tube so they don't stretch as much, and hopefully that will solve some of my issues. So I'm not going to show the whole process. I don't feel like setting up right now. I've had a long day already. I just got back home, and I want to do this before I go in. I want to get that back tire changed and kind of go from there. So at least get something done finally. So I'm gonna do that. I'll give highlights, but I'm not gonna set everything up just to show the whole thing. You see me change tires many times anyways. So I'll get started, and I'll see what I can come up with here. A quick update here. It's something new. I got a little bench to sit on while I'm working here. At that dollar store for a couple bucks. So I'm taking the wheel apart, and I'm looking at everything in here, and I see this. You see what I see? That's a broken wire. So that's been hanging down and rubbing on the tire and that. I wonder if that's why my rear strobe light stopped working. Could it be? Before I change that, I will check that out and be sure. I might even do that before I put the wheel back on. I don't know. But you can see how much my hub moves. I'm not supposed to do that. That's supposed to be solid. So that's why my back tires are wearing down so fast, because they're on an angle. The other side's even worse. That's the one I've noticed. That's the one that's causing the issue that I sort of kind of hinted at before. But that's a lot of rust in this. This isn't even black anymore. It's just all, well, I guess that's dirt. Okay, never mind. I thought that was all rust. Yeah, it's just really dirty, like the inside of the rim here. This is black. It's supposed to be black. A lot of dust. Okay, so I'm going to continue on here. I'm glad I noticed that. That might be where my problem's coming from. So, okay, I'll finish up. Okay, this makes me laugh. You've seen some of the problems I've had trying to get these tires off the rim. Well, this one just slips right out. I didn't do anything to it. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's because I was driving on it flat. Not a long time like the front there, but it just, it got flat on the way home. Drove home with a flat. So I just kind of freed the bead up, make it nice and easy for me to take off. I wish they were all that easy. Okay. There's no way I'm getting that on there. I tried. I stretched it as much as I could. I can't get it over that hole. So I'm going to check that one more time. Yeah, that's 9 inches. 9-inch rim. I have to keep that in mind. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. That's right, I wasn't able. So I use one that I normally use for an 8-inch rim, not a 6. Okay, I will continue. I suppose if I can't find 9-inch, 8-inch will work. 8-inch slides in there, no problem. I stretch it a little bit, but once I get it onto it, I can push it down. It just goes right into place. So if I can't find 9-inch, 8-inch will be just fine. Okay, I just did something really dumb. That may have been a mistake, and I might have to do this again. Put the tube in, tire on, put it all together. I just filled it with air. Inflate to 30 pounds, and it hit me. Whatever gave me the flat tire, I never checked to see if it's still sticking in. So I went through it, I went over the whole tire. There's a whole bunch of little cut spots, so maybe something went in and came out, but I don't see anything sticking in. Most of the time I get a flat tire. When I check, there's nothing sticking in anyways. It usually comes in and goes back out. There was one time I had a carpet tack was stuck right in the corner. It just stuck through the tire enough to catch the tube. Other than that, anytime I get a flat tire, whatever it was that went in came right back out again. So hopefully that'll be the case this time. I'm looking at the size here. Yeah. 160 by 40, and it says 10-inch rim. So 160 by 40, I have no idea what that is. It's got to be millimeters. So it'll be 16 centimeters by 4 centimeters. What that translates to in inches, I'll have to figure out when I go in. Why did I do that? Stick to the basics. Everybody knows inches, for Pete's sake. And if it's a generic item like tires, use inches. Everybody knows. But, I don't hear any hissing, so it went down pretty quick. I didn't hear it go down. Something just didn't feel right, and I could hear that howling noise that it makes when it's flat. So, we'll see. I'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of days. 160 by 40. But that can't be right, because if those are millimeters, that can't be inches. That can't be 16 inches by 4 inches. That can't be right. If it's 0.0, but then, I don't know. All I know is, if this is millimeters, this can't be inches. They're not going to mix the two together, right? But, I don't know. We'll see. Shaking my head here. I can't make things simple. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on, and I was thinking of doing a front tire too. I was going to see if I could fit the bigger tube in the front, but I don't think so. I'm sweating. I'm exhausted already just for doing this dang rabbit. But, you know, I'm getting something done. So I'm going to put this back on, and before I do that, actually, I'm going to check this wire. Yeah, you can see how it's worn. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see it. It's worn down. So, it's been rubbing on the tire. And the tire just kind of broke through it. So, I'm going to stick that back together, and I'm going to see if that was the wire for my strobe light. Maybe I'll get lucky. It'll be something simple, and I won't have to change that right now. It's the one last thing I'll have to do. Okay, I'll get back to work here. Okay. So first thing I noticed here is these wires, or this wire is getting worn through as well. So I gotta get these away from the tire. So I melted off enough of the insulation that I can get some bare wire. And I've already turned on the strobe light. I stick these together as best I can to make contact. Yeah, looky here. That explains that problem. So I'm glad that wasn't the camera power supply wire. That might be what this one is. I'm not sure what this one is. That's a double wire. Okay, that's not making contact either. What is that? Because this is a double wire, and there's only one connected. Okay, I got some wiring to do here. It's not my camera power supply. It's got power. Oh, I wonder. Overhead light? Nope. I'm confused. Oi. Power to that. Power to that. Power to that. What else back here needs power? 3 things. All 3 have power. I don't know. I kind of wanted to rewire these anyways, but... Okay, so... the light is this wire here. That's not black. That's this one. So that's got power. That one's the strobe light. Oh! This is a single. Strobe light has 3 wires. I just remembered that. It's got positive, negative, and a grounding wire. So that might be why I'm not getting... No, because the grounding wire goes to this push button right here. So it's only going to have 2. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll fix those. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to finish the tire and I'm done for the day. But at least I know what the issue is. I can do that later. So, easy fix. I don't have to change my strobe light. I have a new one if that one ever does decide it wants to quit working. Okay, so that's one less job I have to do. Yay! And this still seems to be holding air, so I'm going to put that back on and clean up. And then I want to read something to you. It really made me laugh. Just to show you what I was talking about. Oop, you can see if the wires are rubbing on the tire. And that's what's caused the issue. I did put a whole bunch more zip ties on here. It's because everything kind of slipped down out of here. I didn't have enough support inside. I did put a bunch of zip ties on here trying to keep everything away, but obviously it wasn't enough. So I will do that before I take the monster out next. So another option I have as far as these tires is why not just get bigger tires. I can get tires that are, you know, obviously 9-inch rim and whatever width these are. The problem is these are low profile tires. If I put bigger tires on, you know, I have very little space between here and the bar, and with the suspension, you know, there's very little, there's just no room for bigger tires. That was an option. I won't be able to put the fender back on, but I've been driving with it for, you know, over a year anyways without the fender on it. Still haven't got that done. That's not much of an issue, but there just isn't room, because it pivots right here, so everything's going this way, so it's going to come up even closer to the bar here, and, you know, it's just the way it is. And I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it, but the paint's worn off the plastic here, because they do hit. They hit a big enough bump, so I can't use bigger tires. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I gotta sit down, and I gotta get my phone out, and I'm gonna read something to you. Hey, I don't know if you're aware, on the internet is IMDb, which is Internet Movie Database. You want information about a movie, they got pretty much everything you'll ever need to know. So I got, looking every once in a while, I'll look up a movie and just, you know, see what's what about it. Well, I found this review, and this, actually, I'll read it first, and then I'll tell you what it's for. So, the heading is absolutely irritating, no spoilers. So, why is it irritating? Because this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. Hold on a second here. My phone's doing funky things. Okay. Why is it irritating? Because this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to be everything. Okay, I was trying to scroll. I didn't realize it was all on the screen. Okay. Because this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to be everything. It is everything, but then it's nothing. It just doesn't pay off any of the things that it leads you to believe that it is. You can give it 0 stars because it feels like it's way better. You can't give it 0 stars because it feels like it's way better than that. But you can't give it 10 stars because it feels like it doesn't deserve any stars. You just feel empty and irritated after watching it. At the end of the movie, you just feel like you studied for the wrong test. If this movie would have finished any of the twists it started, it would be a solid 8, but yet nothing. Ouch! I laughed so hard when I first read that. So, if you're wondering what movie that is for, it is from the movie that was produced by ex-President Obama, Leave the World Behind. So, that just kind of made me laugh. That's harsh. But honest and true. I love it. Okay, so I think I'm done for today. I got nothing else that I feel like doing. I just don't have any energy left now. I guess I'm sweaty. It was chilly when I first went out. It's not chilly anymore. So, just because I'm gonna go out on the road, do a couple of circles, and come back in just to get the monster some exercise. Not like it needs it. And then I'm gonna park, bring the other scooter in, and I'm good to go. Good to go in, that is. So that's all I got for this one. I finally got something done with the monster. Trying not to get glare off my glasses here.